In my previous life, I died tragically because of my own kindness. I remember it clearly. I was in my small apartment on the 14th floor of an old building in the heart of the city. I remember clearly. They shoved me out of my own room, pushed me toward the stairwell, where growls and rotting hands were already waiting. I died. My blood stained every step of the stairs. Only one question echoed in my head. Why me? But fate didn't end there. I woke up 2 months before the apocalypse. The old scar was still on my hand. My heart still weighed down by fear, but my mind was full of memories of death. This time I didn't tremble. I didn't ask why. I acted. As the outbreak day approached, I started requesting leave from work. I sold everything unnecessary: clothes, jewelry. I used every penny I had to quietly buy rice, noodles, canned food, clean water, filters, batteries, lights, first aid kits. I tried to buy every kind of dried food I could. I learned how to use knives, how to handle a gun, how to make basic traps. I still remembered clearly how they destroyed my home in my past life, so this time, I built a base. My old apartment turned into a bunker. I hired workers to reinforce the doors, install anti-theft locks. I boarded up every window so no light could escape. I created an emergency exit with rope tied tightly through the balcony railing. Every morning, I jogged around the building, not to exercise, but to scout escape routes. Every evening, I sat alone, recalling every face that had betrayed me, and I waited for Thursday to come again. They gossiped, not knowing what I was doing. I didn't care. While they threw parties, I checked my food supplies. While they laughed, I tested flashlights. While they posted selfies, I counted bullets and dried food. And then, the first news came out. That day, I was lying down, scrolling the news. There was a short video of a man attacking, biting a woman in a small town 200 kilometers away from the city. I rewound that video many times, slowly, and suddenly I saw the woman, after being bitten, open her eyes wide, bloodshot and pale. Her body twitched. The next day, the government announced, nothing to worry about, but I knew it had begun. 3 days later, the entire southern part of the city was locked down. People ran in panic. Infected corpses chased anyone they smelled fresh blood from. People screamed, fled in chaos. The police couldn't control it. At that moment, I played soft music, watched the news, and ate a bit of hot porridge. I locked all the doors, sat in the dark, read the heated comments in the residential chat group. When the news spread to areas not yet affected, people rushed to stock up on food, jostling, shoving. Many couldn't buy anything. And then, the apocalypse truly arrived. My city had its first infected. Everyone returned home, locked their doors, and waited. 1 week after the apocalypse, a neighbor knocked on my door. I recognized her, the one who pushed me years ago. Her eyes were red. She cried and asked if I could share some food. She said her whole family hadn't eaten since yesterday, and her grandchild was starving. I looked through the peephole, silent. She banged the door, cried, screamed, but received no reply from me. Eventually, she gave up and left. I didn't keep the door shut to get revenge. But because I had learned the greatest lesson from my past life, no one deserves the kindness of someone who has once been betrayed. I learned how to live with silence, with darkness, with the lingering hunger and the sound of a heartbeat in the night. I trained my memory daily, memorizing water supply schedules, wind direction, zombie active hours. I wrote a diary, but never recorded emotions. Only numbers, counts, times. I couldn't be weak. I didn't allow myself to waver. More than a week passed. I never left the apartment. I used binoculars to observe every movement. I saw the zombies gathering at the foot of the building more and more each day. They were trying to find a way up the hallway, drawn by the scent of human blood. Some of them even tried to climb, grabbing onto pipes and windows. The residential chat group exploded with panic, reminding everyone to lock their doors tightly and not step outside. Suddenly, someone mentioned my name in the group chat, wondering why I hadn't responded. People talked about me. Someone guessed I'd been bitten and died. Others said maybe I was hiding somewhere. I stayed silent, as if I were already dead. And then the zombies found the entrance. They swarmed up the floors. Their growls, their footsteps echoed through the halls. But everyone had already locked their doors. After many hours, they left. Only a few lingered at the foot of the building. I knew they would return the next day. At night, they often gather in one place. During the day, they scatter to hunt. I was sitting still on my chair when I suddenly heard a thud against the window. Someone had thrown a rock at the glass. I didn't react. I held my gun and waited. I knew they were testing to see if I was home. Because in my past life, my home had already been eyed by those people. And then that night, the old neighbor returned. She stood in front of my door.